Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, A Little Geek, A Little Chic. Today, we're going to talk about the books that I acquired since my last book haul video. I have a stack, so grab yourself your beverage of choice and let's get into it. So I have about 13 physical books here, and I have 2 books that I have on digital download, so I will have to read those also, and those are, let me just check my list. Wildflower Hill by Kristen Freeman. So this is about 2 ladies, and it's set in the Great Depression era, and it says it's very, it's kind of like it's very general historical fiction. It doesn't really say. It's just like secrets, lies, love, family. So one takes place. One of the ladies is in 2 women. It's one of them's in Glasgow, and one of them's at like a Tibetan sheep farm, I think. So interesting. I don't know too much about it, but it was picked for our summer reads for our book club that we're in, so I went and downloaded that one. The other one I downloaded, I will be reading in the month of July, and it will be my first book from this author, and that's Nora Goes Off Script. This one I have never read from this romance author. I think I will probably love her because everybody does. She is very popular. Anna Monaghan, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm not sure. If I'm butchering your last name, I'm so sorry. Annabelle Monaghan? Okay, hopefully that's correct. I don't have a ton of room on my romance shelves at the moment, but if I do like this book, I will be purchasing some more of her books, and probably this one in physical, because I think if I like it, I have a friend who likes to borrow my books, and this author sounds like it would hit the mark for both of us. So I will give her a shot. I will be reading that on my e-reader, and I'll let you guys know what I think. Now, on to the physical books. So I had a lot of pre-orders for July, or for June and May, and then July I think I only have 1. So I don't think you'll see another haul for a couple of months. July there's 1. Might have 1 in like September, October, because there's some thriller / horror coming out that I'm excited about. And yeah, most of my books that I really get excited for come out in, I would say March, April, May, June, July, and my birthday is in April too, so that's why I end up with a big, giant haul after April. But these are the ones that I've gotten so far, and the ones that we've gotten for my husband, because he's been into reading the classics, and so I've been picking those up for him as I see them. And the first one is super popular right now. I'm glad I got it. I got it with the fancy sprayed edges. Love the teal. And that is Can't Spell Treason Without Tea. This is a cozy book, a fantasy book, kind of like Legends and Lattes vibes. It's about 2, I think it is a same-sex couple, but I think they're like mages or fairies, or I can't really remember what they are, but they're definitely from a fantasy realm, and they decide that their dream is to open a bookstore that serves tea. And I am here for it. Give me books, give me tea, give me some fantasy setting, give me something light and fluffy that doesn't involve a whole lot of espionage and maps, and I'm there. So, I'm here for it. It just says, all Rhaena and Cainth ever wanted was to open a bookshop that serves tea, while firelight drifts between the rafters, but Rhaena works as one of the Queen's private guards, and Cainth is the most powerful mage in existence. Leaving their lives isn't so easy. I am excited, and I can't wait to read this one. This one will be like an early fall probably for me, or like maybe like September, when I want those cozy vibes, that's what this is giving me. Okay, I'm gonna move my little notes here from the digital downloads so I can stack the books. Next one is an auto-buy author. Surprise none. I love this author. And it's Riley Sager. So Riley Sager, Middle of the Night. I don't know too much about this. It is a thriller, so I don't like to know too much about my thrillers going into them, which a lot of us are like that with the thrillers. But it is this gentleman who has a night spending time with his best friend in a tent or something at his friend's house. But in the morning when he wakes up, his friend is missing, and nobody knows where he is gone. Fast forward to the future, friend not found. He goes back home and starts to unravel the mystery of what happened to his friend, and etc. So that's the premise that I know, and that's all I really want to know going in. I am very excited, and I just love Riley Sager. Riley Sager just gets me. This one's going to be on the read pile very soon. And it's really, I just love the feel of this cover. It's super satiny. And I'm here for the gray, for the green this time too. This lime green is really hitting the mark. The next book, get this ugly sticker off the front. Can I get the sticker off without wrecking the book? No, I can't. Oh no. Okay, well, this book's gonna have the sticker on it until I can get my little scrapey veely off. But it's an Indigo exclusive, and it says it ended badly. So this is a nonfiction book, and it is by Jennifer Wright, and it is like 13 of the worst breakups in history. So it talks about like historical breakups that were really, really bad. Like Lord Byron is in here. Who else we got in here? And like all the stuff they did to each other and why it was bad. And Anne Boleyn's in here. That was definitely a bad breakup. And then I believe you have some like modern famous people too. Oh yeah, here. Debbie Reynolds, Eddie Fisher, Elizabeth Taylor. That triangle situation is in here. So I'm very excited. This is going to be hopefully just like a light read that I can just pick up and read one or two stories of. Like casually here and there. It's like, oh, what happened to these ones? Ooh. And what happened to this one? Ooh. You know. There's a lot of historical people in it too, which is interesting because I don't know a lot of that, so that would be very interesting to dabble into. The next one I'm nervous about because it's getting mixed reviews. I did like two of this author's previous works, but one of them did not hit the mark with me. So I'm hoping that this one brings that back to me liking this author, and that is Lucy Foley's The Midnight Feast. So this is another thriller, and this is about a group of influencers and celebrity type people who get invited to this opening of this club, resort, whatever you call it, and somebody ends up dead. And it's like an Agatha Christie style whodunit kind of situation of all these people that are at this opening of this fancy place. Pardon my throat here is seizing up on me. But it says, welcome to the opening weekend of the Manor, the luxury resort built on top of old secrets and an ancient forest. The founder, the husband, the mystery guest, the kitchen help. Everyone has an agenda, everyone has a past, but not everyone will survive. And that's all I need to know. So I didn't read any of the other stuff. There's a big thing on the inside. We'll just keep it at that and go into it knowing what I know. Next up is a sequel that I purchased, and you guys, I ran out and got this because I was reading book one and I was like 50 pages in, and I needed the other one like right now. So the first book in question is Butcher and Blackbird. The second book, the one I purchased, is Leather and Lark. So it's a 3-book trilogy. It's called the Treacherous Love, or Ruinous Love trilogy. And you meet the characters that the other books are made about in the first book. They're not like super in depth. You don't like learn about a ton about them, but you do like get to experience these characters, and I'm super intrigued as to how this is all going to pan out. Like this one, so exciting. The other one, like I said, was Slow Burn. It took about 200 pages to get to spicy stuff. So if you like a slow burn, that's good. The spicy stuff was very spicy though, so just an FYI. These books, definitely look up trigger warnings if you have any, because they are a darker romance. Understatement of a lifetime. And there is a page and a bit of potential trigger warnings, again, in this book. So look up trigger warnings for these before you read them. Trigger warnings aren't really a thing. They don't really affect me, so it doesn't bother me very much. But these are definitely books that even though I don't talk about them very often, would tell you to please look up trigger warnings before you delve into this romance. But, oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited to read this one. I believe that one focuses on, I know it focuses on the best friend of the main character from the first book. Her name is Lark, and then Leather, I believe, is the brother of the main character in the first book, but we will see. Leather's obviously not his name, so that's why I'm kind of like, is that who I think the love interest is? And I think it is. The next one is the first book that I got for my husband in the pile, not the first in like order. But I picked up, and I really liked this book when I read it. You guys, I read it in like school, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I might actually reread this one because it's been a while. And it is William Golding. Classic. Lord of the Flies. About a bunch of boys stuck on an island. They end up making their own like hierarchy of power and find a guy's body, etc. So, very interested to read this one again. But this one is my husband's, so it's keeping with the classic theme that he's got going on. So, speaking of keeping up the classic themes, here's 3 more. I'm trying to see if I can get the stickers off these ones. Come on. Ooh. Oh, 1. Like, I don't know why they stick stickers on these things. Oh, 2. Success. Okay, number 1. The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. Aspiring poet Esther Greenwood has everything going for her apart from her dark cloud of mental illness which hangs over her. She gains a dream internship at a major New York magazine in the 1950s, but her struggle with depression ricochets her back to Massachusetts. Sent to a psychiatrist by her mother, Esther finds herself on an irreversible path to hospitalization. So, classic. Again, a classic. This one I picked up because I am super interested in him reading this one. It is one that he had on his, again, stickers. It is one that he had on his list that he also wanted to read. And the lady, when I purchased it, was like, oh yeah, please have him read it and then listen to the radio broadcast of War of the Worlds. So if you don't know, it's a story about Martians or aliens coming down to Earth and basically messing around with humankind and taking over. And there was a famous radio broadcast where somebody read War of the Worlds on the radio. And if you didn't, they didn't tell you that it was a story before, but also if you just tuned in during the broadcast, you heard this happening, and he was reading it like a radio announcement news article. This is what's happening right now. And it scared so many people, freaked out. They thought this was happening. So, interested for him to read this and then tell me what he thinks and then listen to the radio broadcast. I also wouldn't mind probably reading this one too, actually. So, some of these ones this time are hitting the mark for me, which is interesting. So is the last one I got him. So the last one I got him actually was picked out by Kim over at Bookshelf Bunny. She was with me that day when I was picking up Leather and Lark, I believe is the book that I was going to get. Was it Leather and Lark? No. It was The Midnight Feast. And another one. Oh, yes, that one I haven't showed you yet. I was going to get those 2. Kim was picking up Leather and Lark, and she told me that I had to get him this one, which I also am interested in reading, and it is The Haunting of Hill House. Not super old, but considered a classic. It is a horror-esque kind of book, and she said have him read it around Halloween, and she wants to know what he thinks, because Kim is a very devout horror and scary book movie reader. So if you're interested in those kind of books, definitely follow her over at Bookshelf Bunny. And it says the house was vile. She shivered and thought the words coming freely to her mind. Hill House is vile. It's diseased. Get away from here at once. I love a haunted house story. Love. Very excited. Riley Sager's Lock Every Door. Home Before Dark. Whoa, yeah. So hopefully that one's good too. The next one is the one that I got with the Midnight Feast when I was with Kim, picking up the ones for my husband. And that, you guys, I did it. I'm getting into the world. I am jumping on said bandwagon. I am reading Magnolia Parks. I wasn't going to jump on this bandwagon. I didn't think that this book was going to be for me. I wasn't sure I was interested in a toxic romance. Hold on one moment, please. Enter this book. I was wrong. I really like a toxic romance. This one's toxic in all kinds of ways. This one's toxic in the two characters being toxic for each other kind of way. I don't know. I guess I'll try it. I was like, I don't think I like a toxic romance. Read Butcher and Blackbird. Hi, color me wrong. I'm going to go pick this up and see what all the hype's about, because clearly I do. I also like that this book has mixed media in it. It's got like text messages and stuff in here on some pages, and I like that. That's like a realistic, today's day kind of romance situation. You have text messages, emails, right? All kinds of stuff like that. So I'm here for it. It's about two people. Magnolia Parks is about Magnolia Parks, obviously, and BJ Ballantyne. So let's see how this goes out. I've been told it's like Gossip Girl meets what's that British soap opera? I was going to say Downton Abbey, but that's not it. Gossip Girl meets... It'll come to me and I'll be like, oh. But like if Gossip Girl were English, that's what this is, like British. So I'll test it. We'll try it out. Oh, now I remember. Coronation Street. There you go. You're welcome. Okay, next book on the list is also for my husband. He has a goal this year that he wants to read. By the end of the year, his goal is to read Crime and Punishment. I have told him that this is a very lofty goal based on the retellings and the English translation not being amazing, but he is adamant. And this new edition just came out, which is absolutely stunning. And it's got like real cool graphics on it. It's not like that through the whole thing. It's literally just words. But there are some really awesome pictures in here. And it's really neat. And apparently this one is the best retelling to date of Crime and Punishment. So we picked it up. It's really cool. It's interesting to have on the bookshelf. I'm excited. It really is intriguing, and I might want to read it at some point. It's basically like a murderer, like a serial killer, psychopathic murderer who doesn't want to be a murderer, wants to be a good person, but you're really going through the story and hearing his point of view and his mental stance on being a murderer and how he doesn't want to be a murderer, and then he kills people. And so it just sounds really intriguing. It is a huge book, especially for a guy who just started reading this year. It's like 600 pages, but hey, goals are goals, and I'm glad he has them. This is an undertaking, and I will be sure to let you guys know in one of my vlogs if he actually finishes it or starts it this year. Next up, I have two books left. They're both special editions because, one of them is Half-Blood by Jennifer Armentrout, and this is gorgeous. Look at this. How pretty is that? Yes, I will read this. This book is 17-year-old Alex and her mother have spent years on the run from the Covenant, a school where the pure descendants of gods hone their powers, and half-mortal teens like Alex train to kill diamonds for them. But when her mom is murdered by... did I say diamonds? Oh my god. Daemons. Same thing, sort of. She trained to kill daemons for them, but when her mom is murdered by daemons, she has nobody else to turn to. Alex finds herself back at the Covenant where she has two options: become a servant for the Pures or work twice as hard as everyone else to catch up in her training. The second opinion seems like the easy choice, but everything gets complicated when pureblood Aiden volunteers to be her personal trainer, because not only is Aiden gorgeous, but he understands Alex in a way that she never experienced before. Unfortunately, relationships between pures and half-bloods are strictly forbidden. So this is giving me like a fantasy romance, romantasy vibe, kind of like Fourth Wing. So I'm here for this. I'm going to read it. This is going to be probably like a fall read for me, or winter. But I'm excited to pick it up. I just love the pages, too. Give me anything purple. Love me some purple. The last book is the third book in a series. I have read the first two books. I am here for this book. And I love it when a series wraps up and the book, especially when it's a fantasy, is not 3 times the size of the first book. Hallelujah. Can I get an amen? It's the third book in the Children series, which is like Children of Virtue and Vengeance, Children of Blood and Bone, and now Children of Anguish and Anarchy by Toni Adeyemi. Almost dropped the book there. See how gracefully I spun it around, acting like that didn't happen. How pretty is this? So nice. It's hardcover. It matches my other hardcovers. The spine goes along with the other spines. I just love it when they don't change up stuff. Thank you so much for keeping it consistent. But there is a difference to this book that the other books didn't have, and it is this. It looks like a tapestry, like ribbony. Oh, it's so pretty. So pretty. And then the inside, we have nice map, but then all the pages have... Oh, I am here for this. So if you're not familiar, it is about, we follow our main character, Xylee? Yeah, Xylee. So she and her family, her place where her people live is ransacked. Magic is forbidden. Her mom had it. Her mom was murdered by the kingdom, and she's on the run because she's got the powers that her family had, and it's a whole thing. I'm not going to tell you too much. I don't really want to spoil it. It's hard to tell you anything about it without spoiling stuff, but she comes across a noble person from the royal family or knight that is trying to capture her and bring her back, but then maybe they start having feelings for one another, and she maybe saves him. I don't know, that kind of thing. I don't want to tell you again too much stuff because there's 2 books prior to this one. So, yeah, read them. This book was so big when it first came out, Children of Blood and Bone, that even like Jimmy Fallon read it for his summer reads list on his talk show, his late night show. So it was, and I was enthralled. And I don't read a lot of fantasy, and if it grasped me like that one did, I'm 100% in. So I read both the first 2 books, and this is the final book in the trilogy. So, and it's not 10,000 pages. So thank you, Toni Adeyemi, for that. Praise to you. You are my hero. And for making this stunning book. I'm so excited to have it on my shelf and get to read it. I will probably be reading that one. That will probably be the fantasy book I read during the summer, because it is just, all the books have come out in the summer, and it just is a summer fantasy at this point for me, because I read the other ones to just continue and finish the trilogy in the summer. That is it for me, folks. Those are the books that I acquired in the last month and a half, 2 months since my last book haul. Again, I only have like one book coming out in July, so that I'm interested in currently. That's a pre-order, so that will probably be my only July book. And in that instance, that if I only do get the one, I will just, or if I get like 1 or 2 books, I'll just join them, and we'll just put that in a bigger haul at the end of the summer, end of August, before fall kind of situation. So thank you so much for watching. Again, if you liked this video, please do not forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Please share my bookish content with whoever you think might enjoy it. I appreciate all of your likes, all your subscribes, and all of you sharing my videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon with another video.